What is up, you guys? This is All Danny Day 1 on the PS4, and I'm going to be giving you another Anthem build video. And with this build video I'm going to be giving you is going to be an Interceptor build, and it's going to be a very powerful melee build. This is going to allow you to pretty much kill anything really quick, and making GM1 a lot easier, a lot smoother. GM2, it's still going to be a little risky because they do hit a lot harder than they do in GM1, and GM3, just don't even worry about doing GM3 anyways because it's just not worth doing. Even GM2 is not really worth doing, but it's still doable with this build. Now, with this particular build though, you are going to be hitting extremely high numbers with your ability and even your regular melee build or melee attacks. And sorry, that was my chair. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the abilities. So with the weapons you're going to be using Unending Battle as your primary weapon. This is a Masterwork machine pistol, so it's very easy to use, very easy to get your proc. And the perk you're gonna have with this is going to be Gladiator's Wrath. Hitting an enemy at point blank range increases weapon and melee damage by 110% for 5 seconds. That is amazing. You know why? Because that's 2 times more damage that you are doing with both melee and ranged, or melee and guns basically, for 5 seconds. But you're going to be focused on using melee attacks, so you're doing 2 times more damage with your melee attacks. Now, something I want you guys to keep in mind though is Unending Battle does sometimes bug out. Sometimes it doesn't proc Gladiator's Wrath, and normally it's supposed to just reset the timer if you shoot at them again. But sometimes, I don't know if there's just like a hidden cooldown behind it, like a 5-second hidden cooldown or 10 seconds or whatever, I'm not sure, but for some reason sometimes it'll proc, sometimes it won't. But when it does, it's really nice. Now for the secondary weapon, you do not need to use Radiant Fortress. You can use literally any other weapon you want except for Soothing Touch, wherever that's at. I don't even know where my Soothing Touch is anymore. Oh, right here. Except for Soothing Touch. Don't worry about using this one. But unless it has really good, really good stats. And the stats you want to have on your secondary weapon, well, basically both weapons, but you want to have is going to be physical damage, and it's going to be elemental damage because you have 2 elemental attacks. And then the next one is going to also be combo efficiency or combo damage. I believe there's combo damage, and then I'm forgetting the other one, but those are going to be some of the main ones. So physical damage and elemental damage, very useful, very important to have. And I'm just going to look through real quick because I know, oh, gear speed and gear damage, that's what it is. Gear speed and gear damage. The reason why you want gear speed is because it allows you to use your abilities faster. The higher the percentages, the faster you can use your abilities. Gear damage increases the amount of damage your abilities will do. So having that physical damage and having that elemental damage is going to be very useful. Now, the elemental damage is not going to work for your I believe your assault ability, which is going to be the Acid Bomb. Acid Bomb is not an elemental ability, it is a physical ability. So having physical damage is going to help that, but not just that, but the physical damage is also going to help your melee attacks. The elemental damage is going to help with your strike system, which is going to be Sudden Death or Tempest Strike. Tempest Strike being electric, Sudden Death being fire. Now, for Serpent's Veil or Viper Bomb or Venom Bomb, what this does is it's an AoE bomb, AoE acid bomb. It'll do damage, little ticks of damage near to enemies that are affected by it. And you want to basically have the same stats that you have on the guns. So you want to have physical damage, you want to have elemental damage, you want to have gear speed, gear damage, or even combo 110% or combo of aura efficiency, etc. Anything that can benefit you when it comes to your melee and ability damage. Now, something I want you guys to also keep in mind is look at the system on the very bottom. It says gear speed 40% speed, weapon 27% ammo, pistol 20% ammo, combo 110% aura efficiency. The symbols are different. so that the gears and the combo symbols are the same, weapon and pistol symbols are the same. The reason why is the gear and the combo symbols, or which are the gear symbols, those are only applied to that specific gear. If it is a javelin symbol or the body symbol, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be applied to everything that your javelin is equipping. Basically meaning if it has that javelin system or javelin symbol, it's applied to all of it. Now, because it's for your javelin. Now for the strike system, you're going to want to use sudden death or tempest strike, because you're going to get a high amount of damage using this. It does a lot of damage. You're going to want to have physical damage for sure for your regular melee attacks. Physical damage does not apply to this, and the reason why is because it's an elemental attack, unfortunately. But that's why you also want to have elemental damage as well. The higher elemental damage is, the better it'll be for you. And then the gear speed and gear damage as well is going to be very useful as well, so that way you can use this more often, being able to spam it pretty much all the time. Now for the support system, you're going to just want to use Target Beacon. The reason why Target Beacon allows you to deal 33% more damage to that target, and then it'll jump to another target. Pretty much Target Beacon on all Interceptor builds is what you're going to be using. You're not really going to ever be using Rally Cry. I never do. It's a minute long cooldown, while Target Beacon's only at 30 seconds. So you benefit more from using Target Beacon. Now for the components is where it's at. So I have Way of Resolve increases Interceptor's melee damage by 10%. Dashing, so one dash, you have triple dashes, but one dash increases melee damage by 40% for 10 seconds. Very good, very powerful, 50% increase in melee damage right there, right off the bat. Now you have Elusive Talisman. So with Elusive Talisman, you get an increase in weapon damage by 25%. Dashing 3 times refills the equipped weapon magazine. The reason why you're going to be using this, I know, it seems weird why you're going to be using this, because you're not going to be focusing on weapon damage, but that triple dash for unending battle is going to be very important, because it means you never have to reload your pistol. Because that reload time, it's like a 3-second reload time, which is 3 seconds of you not being able to get engaged and meleeing the enemies, just, you know, dropping all the enemies down. That's why Elusive Talisman is going to be very important for that situation. Plus, you're going to already be dashing anyways to get Way of Resolve. You're going to keep dashing constantly every 10 seconds, or even less than 10 seconds. Anytime you have your dash, you're going to be doing that. Plus, dashing helps you survive. Next is going to be Way of the Swift. So Way of the Swift, it says increases assault system damage by 5%. Any L1 hit increases R1 damage by 50% for 5 seconds. That is a lot of damage, because that means when you use your assault, your Venom Bomb, your Serpent's Veil, your Mora's whatever, you use that, and then you go straight into using Tempest Strike or Sudden Death. That is going to do 50% more damage. It is doing a lot of damage. And then the next one you're going to have is Vengeance Matrix. So with Vengeance Matrix, it increases all damage dealt that you do by 50%, and you also take 25% less damage, which is very important for an Interceptor, especially a melee build Interceptor, because you're going to be right up in the combat. So having that less damage, or that damage reduction with that increase in damage, is going to be very useful. On low health, I wouldn't even worry about that, the low health perk, because if you are on low health, it's best to just dip out. Don't keep fighting unless you can get your health back. Next up is going to be Way of the Bold. So Way of the Bold increases aura combo pulse strength by 40%. What that does is it basically ticks faster. So you're going to be getting the acid ticks. You're going to be getting the acid aura. And that means any nearby enemy, or any enemy that comes nearby you, is going to be is going to have the not aura, but the acid applied to them because of your aura. But this also allows it to pulse 40% faster, pretty much. I believe it's 40% faster, or it's hitting 40% harder, one of the two. And then you also get defeating an enemy with a melee restores 20% of your armor, which is 20%. That armor is your health. All right, that's your red bar. So whenever you defeat an enemy, which you will be able to kill enemies so easily with all your melee abilities or melee attacks, whatever, you will basically be almost invincible, because if you're fighting a bunch of lower enemies, pretty much, if you're fighting like an Ash Titan, just one Ash Titan or just one boss, that's not going to be useful for you, because this is basically heal on kill. And then the last one is going to be Conductive Lattice. Conductive Lattice is going to be a huge game changer when it comes to melee damage, because what it does is it increases your electricity damage, which means if you have Tempest Strike, you're going to be doing a lot more damage with that. And then electricity resistance, where you're going to be doing 20% more damage. Electricity resistance, you get 20% of that as well, which is nice against electric based enemies. And then you also get a 20% gear cooldown speed, allowing you to basically have a much faster cooldown for both your abilities. And then for the perk, or the Masterwork perk, it says performing a small melee hit, streak, which is three hits, detonates an electric explosion, which is so nice. It does a lot of damage. Like, I've seen it hit 2 to 3k, maybe even 4k, and that's with it being no buffs whatsoever. 2 to 3k. With buffs, it's like 4 to 5, maybe even 6k damage. It does a lot of damage, and this is going quick. You are hitting them quick, so this proccing like maybe every second and a half. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm also going to go ahead and show you the consumables that you're going to want to use. So for the consumables you're going to want to be using, or what I normally use, is going to be Armor Sigil, the epic version of it, and then the epic version of the Gear Sigil, and then the epic version of the Melee Sigil. Now, if you don't want to use the gear one, because this is, it's nice because it gives you 30% increase or recharge speed to both of your gears, both abilities. If you don't want to use that, and because you think you already have a high enough or fast enough speed, then I would recommend either putting the blue and purple melee sigil, so you get 50% increase in melee damage, or getting the blue and purple armor sigil, so you get 50% increase in your javelin's armor, as well as being able to take, I believe, 15% or something. I'm not sure. I don't have the blue sigil, armor sigil. For some reason I can't craft it. I can craft the green one though, but if you have the green one, then it's 13% resistance. But yeah, that's pretty much it with this video. If this helped you out, go and leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them down in the comment section, and I'll try my best to help you guys out as much as I can. And yeah, let's go ahead and help each other out. And that's pretty much it. This is all Danny did one on the PS4. Have a good day, good night, and peace.
Levels are dropping. You're halfway there.